Hi, today is day 6, well I think it's day 6 of our 30-day challenge and I'm enjoying this. I'm feeling a little bit more confident each time I make a recording. And I promised you today that I would talk about states, a little bit more about states and how I do a map in relation to a goal that someone is trying to achieve. So let me first define where these states are. The states are embedded in the neural pathways of your brain. Now, as a neuropsychotherapist, I'm very interested in the brain. I'm interested in what's going on inside when a person is striving to achieve a goal and not quite getting there, and also what's going on inside the brain of a client, for example, that I had yesterday who's so driven. This beautiful young man who is a risk taker, and my gosh, there was just nothing I could pinpoint that I could in fact help him with in that moment in time, which was a bit of a shame. But he is coming back, and I've given him some challenges to work with. Let me get back to the point. I'm talking about states that define us, states that make up our everyday personality, and they are embedded in the neural pathways of your brain. And we've got hundreds of thousands of neural pathways. Neural pathways are formed when we learn a new behaviour or when we learn how to do something different, let's say. For example, when you were young and you were learning how to ride a bike, there was some firings happen and they jumped the synapse out of a pathway and you learned how to ride that bike. Now there's a good chance you still know how to learn that bike. Not in the same way as you did as a 5-year-old, but certainly you could probably still ride a bike today. Neural pathways prune as the brain ages, so some things that we learnt or acquired how to do when we were younger are not needed anymore because we perhaps learnt new ways or they're just not needed. So there's an effect called pruning that happens in the brain. Your brain continues to develop, and in the growing years of your life, i.e. in primary school and then in adolescent years, there's the most growth of neural pathways than there is in later years. But just because you're older doesn't mean that you don't have neural development. And in fact, the more you learn when you're older, the better your neural development is. Doing something like we're doing right now, the 30-day challenge, is creating neural pathways in your brain that you'll be glad you've developed, because it's stimulating, it's invigorating, and you'll be a happier person because you've done something quite different. You've challenged yourself. So when I'm creating a state map, I'm looking for the states that are embedded in the neural pathways. Therefore, it's important to have a goal, because this state map is goal-directed, goal-driven, and we can look at what inhibits and what supports you or the client to achieve that goal. Thanks for listening to me today, and I'm really pleased to be listening to everybody else as well, as we all travel on this journey of the 30-day challenge, developing our neural pathways.